Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to FRL Assetto Corsa Competizione PC GT3 Fridays Round 4, which sees us at Brands Hatch. There may have only ever been 12 races held here, but that doesn't stop us from enjoying this historical track. I have no clue if he's here, but we have alongside me today Mr. FRL J.A. Williams 260. Say hello. I didn't know that was your name. That was completely my fault. Which nobody can hear, but that's my fault. Alright, there we go. Cool. So, we're here at Brands Hatch, which has been in use since 1960, after planning permission given by the Kent County Council to expand the track, seeing the addition of Haywoods Hill, and then the long right-hander of Druids. The standings, as it stands, are top three of the number 15 car of Mattia Nachira? I have no clue how to say his last name. Followed closely only by 3 points by the number 80 car of Paul Labuse. I'm butchering these names. Then 8 points behind him, we have the number 16 of Rick Tadema. I expect to see a lot of a nice battle out of those three today.
Yeah, you've also got a couple of drivers which haven't necessarily been into the mix. One of the, I will call him out, has been one of our aliens, which we've had in the league for a very long time, which is Marco Caddy. I think he's going to be there or thereabouts. And if we had a look at the practice times, I think a couple of guys will be probably firing a lot quicker in terms of lap times as well.
Absolutely, I see where you're coming from there. Some of the guys out there do seem to be incredibly fast, and having done a couple of races with them, they're wow, a lot faster than me. I'll say that.
I don't think there's anything more you could describe it. I think that's the perfect adjective there is wow.
Yeah, just wow. But I do expect to see a lot out of our drivers, full stop. But especially our three, I guess at the moment, title contenders.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there'll be some close battles. Obviously, it's a tight circuit. It's a relatively short lap compared to tracks like Spa or Nürburgring. So with 32 cars we got on track, it's fighting.
It's 32 cars, yeah. I mean, it's going to be tight, however you put it. It's just the way that this circuit is, and that's just how things are going to be. Whether it's even in timing time, it's going to be tight with everyone, really.
Yeah, and strategy is also going to play its part in terms of when you pit. Sometimes it's good to do an undercut and gain some open field in track, and sometimes it's good to do an overcut. But I think, well, with the number of cars on track, you're going to struggle to get space.
Of course, because we always have our one mandatory pit stop for a tyre change, which always throws a curveball, especially if the strategy kind of goes wrong and it ends up being an undercut for the an overcut for the car behind.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other guys, I was just looking through the driver names which are on the grid tonight. Probably worth a special call out for Alfie Barron as well. He has been a member of the league for quite some time, and he's also another alien, which will probably be within the mix. Come the end, he's in the McLaren tonight, car number 95.
Car number 95. Yeah, I mean, obviously having not been in this been in the league with you guys for long, I'm not really knowing much, but I just know a lot about racing, and knowing that, I mean, we can see from this season's F1 championship, for Lord's sake, that anything can happen and anything will make any sort of difference with live stewarding, even with us sitting here and watching it and giving our opinions on it. Anything can make a difference.
We've got our very own Mike Michael Massey, which is Derek Burr in the stewards room tonight. So I wonder if Toto Wolff will be on the phone to him going, no, Del, no, at some point during this evening.
Well, I'd just like to point out we currently have Mattia on provisional pole, setting a 1:23.3, and then Paul Labou's in behind him, 1/10, nearly 1.5 tenths off.
Yeah, just looking at the lap times as they're going through at the moment. Alfie, which I mentioned earlier, is currently 7/10 up on his lap. So that is probably going to be a contender for provisional pole position at the moment. Nobody is really doing any massive improvements. Idrani, car number 205, is currently just under a second up on her lap. So, but that's going to be able to jump her probably into the midfield.
And one of our admins, one Marco Keddy, the number 737 car, they're in the beautiful FRL 720S livery, I think that is. I am completely not sure. Yeah, the 720, the number 737 car in the 720S, beautiful livery. I don't know what to expect out of him tonight, but given off past results, I think he'll definitely be looking to improve.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just unfortunate with Marco. He's a pilot, and he has those other commitments which take people on holidays, so he can't make many races. I've always called him the worst teammate in FRL history, because he'll only turn up for half of the races. But when he does turn up, he generally comes up in the top 3.
Well, there it is, P8 now. 1.8, is that? Yeah, 1.03 cents, sorry, 1.03 seconds from Mattia Nishira there. Once again, Alfie, sorry. 1/10 off now. As you said, definitely could be a contender. That's number 95 car.
Yeah, looking at the sector times as well, Mattia owns the best first and second sector, and Lean Muller has the best third sector at the moment as well. So no one's really standing out in terms of nailing all 3 sectors. I think it's time to be improved by all these drivers across the entire lap at the moment.
Yeah, but of course, in terms of race, it's not always about that one lap pace. It can always be about making those race runs go, the race stints go longer, and if needed, changing your strategy and kind of combating what your rivals are doing around you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at the lap times going through, Labou's is on kind of a bit of a flyer at the moment. 2 seconds, I've been interrupted by my daughter.
All right, no worries. So Paul Labou's now on a flyer. Currently 2.9 tenths from pole. So as it stands, the current top 4, and he's slowed down there for some reason. He's come back into the pits. He's currently 2.9 tenths, and we've got 2.1 for Lean Muller, and then Alfie Barron standing at 1.5 tenths from the 720S of Mattia Nishira, who looks to be very solid already. And then the 3 that haven't set a time already are the 458 of the number 9 car, who's currently either on an outlap or a flyer. I don't know which one. The 55, the AMG 55, and the other 720S.
Yeah, Ian Thompson won't be taking part. He's got, in terms of qualifying, he's got a qualifying ban from previous races, shall we say.
Yeah, so going back to Marco, I do have to say that he has had 2 good results, and then had a DNS out last time in Donington Park. He had the 40 points and then 43 points, both at Monza and Nürburgring. Obviously, both fairly difficult tracks, I guess you could say.
Yeah, Monza's the need for speed.
It really is.
And just looking at things as they're progressing in terms of the lap time, Alfie's currently making slight improvements as he's going through the lap. but that seems to have just dropped off slightly at the moment. But yeah, Monza's was the opening race of the season.
It
and that
was.
Everyone getting to know and love each other during the on-track battles.
Well, looked to be exciting from the top 3 in Monza. I'll tell you that from the results. They all seem to be quite close in terms of lap time as well. As we're sort of seeing here in qualifying, as we come to the final 4 minutes now.
Wow, that's gone very, very quickly.
It does. It really does.
Let's have a look at the midfield in terms of any surprises, so to speak, in terms of who I didn't expect to see that would be there. You've got car number 34, Nielsen, is currently doing quite well in the championship. Got car number 12, which is Pryor, who's had quite a few races with us so far. And we've got Gildy Hain, car number 700, which is probably a bit lower than I probably expected him to be in terms of where the cars are on the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely
I mean,
Marco is surprising me in terms of where he's at the minute. A second behind the quickest guys at the moment.
Yeah, well, that could always, not that I'm putting this up down or anything, but that could always come down to setup or any sort of driving mistakes that he's making, or just kind of running into traffic.
Yeah, I think he ran into traffic. Just looking at the instant logs, 737.45 had some issues after 9 minutes in qualifying, so that might be a contributing factor to why he's in his current position.
Yeah, he's currently just bumped his position up to P6. That is now. It's 7/100th off P. 7/1000th off P5 and 6/10 off Mattia.
Looking at the drivers, in terms of the top 3, nobody's really making any massive improvements. I think Labou's car number 79 is currently 2 tenths up at the moment, which might bring him onto the front row.
Absolutely, if he can improve and not get hit by this by the traffic of that Aston that's just pulled onto the side there, he greatly improves. That'll put him definitely on the front row, either next to Mattia or Alfie.
Let's see if we can stick this going through the last turn. I think there's only 2 parts of this track I could probably name. It's probably is Druids and the Cooper Straight, which is actually the Cooper Straight is the race name for today, but also one of the commentators, Martin Cooper, his relative, I think, helped name that part of the track.
Fair enough.
A non-interesting factor.
Well, I had a whole lot more written down for the introduction of the track, but didn't get to get around to it because I'm me. I forget to say these things.
It's probably me as a distraction.
But it looks like the front row set to be both Alfie Baron and Mattia Nechira, as we only have 45 seconds left now of qualifying. I'm definitely interested to see what both of their strategies are going to be today for today's race, whether it'll be one pitting or later than each other, or if they both pit at the same time, either longer, because obviously damage can come into effect, or
yeah, absolutely. And it's also turn 1 and 2 is going to be the squeaky bum moment. If the top 3 can get through that, then I think the top 4 drivers, looking at their times, if they can get through that, then I think it should be a bit of fun, should we say?
Absolutely. I think whether it's an online lobby, just in general, or if it's even if it's a league race, turn 1 and 2 can always be very, very messy, and that's why I'm glad we definitely have our we have our Michael Massey today.
No, Dal, no. It's also one of the things as an admin, you kind of sit there and you look at the race start and you kind of go, that's the moment you really clench and hope and pray nothing majorly goes wrong.
I mean, I think that's just in any league in general. It's not just this one.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's just any league race, any races where I've ever competed in. I genuinely get nervous at turn 1 and 2.
Let's go through our starting grid then for the race. So in P1, on the front row of the grid, we have Mattia Nishira and Alfie Barron. The second row, P3 and P4, is Lean Muller and Paul Labuse. Then we have Toth, Kerrix, oh my god, I cannot say names, Adati, no, I'm just not even going to try anymore.
Number 9 is Tugbert Bassasemi. I only know that because I know Tug quite well. I'll let you carry on.
Thanks. P10, I'm just not even going to try to pronounce. P11, we've got the 34 car number 720S of Nielsen. And P12 is Longfellow, the BMW. P13, Zagdal, I think. Then P14, we've got Popov, sorry. Yeah, I think people just have to read the grid themselves because I cannot pronounce names.
Just go with the number and car. I think that's probably our safe bet.
Yeah. So P15 we've got the number 700 BMW. Then 16 we've got the 71 BMW. So 2 BMWs looking maybe to use each other maybe for a tow or something there. We've got Mr. Pryor and the Aston in P17. We've got Tadema, who, may I add, is one of the top runners, sitting down in P18, 1.9 tenths off Mattia Nishira, which will be interesting to see what whether that's down to setup or whether he's made a genuine, honest mistake there. And then we have Straten in P19 and P20, the 97 Aston, which I will have to find the name for now.
Fartman in P20 in the 97 Aston. You've got Blaschiat in the number 5 BMW, Wilhine in the 69 AMG, Petrovic in the 70 Mercedes. Then you've got 2 Ferraris, Van der Velde and Giuliani in 24th and 25th respectively. You've got Walsack in the BMW 72. You've got Chris Gedman in the Porsche, his favourite livery of the Spearmint Rhino, and car number 80. You've got Kuhn in the 720S McLaren 555. You've got Scrace in the Audi number 93. Valuazena in the Aston Martin car number 302. Damstra in the McLaren 65. Ian Thompson in the Mercedes number 55. And bringing up the rear is Kudosov in the Audi, wearing car at number 1. Is that bring an air of confidence, do you think?
Maybe, you never know.
Given he's bringing up the rear, it might be going for a last to first challenge. We do not know.
Just reading the chat here. I'll slam on the brakes and crash for cash. Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's something I need to not do. It's probably read the chat.
Well, I suppose if any drivers have any questions, we've obviously got a short period of time. We've got King of the Hills who's in the chat at the moment, talking about how to get PlayStations, I think, and it's Lurchie's Gaming, which is Ace Grace, which is the one who's going to be slamming on the brakes, apparently crash for cash.
Alright, so then we got 10 seconds to, I guess, what is the formation lap.
Yeah, it would be a full formation lap tonight.
Which is helpful for obviously making sure you get the best start possible. Getting that first green light, wait on that. And we are underway, and I can't change my view, so we're going to be stuck on Matera, apparently.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate the game kind of locks you into a car until we cross the line to restart the race. One question I've got for you: have you rehearsed your starting line, and have you trademarked it yet?
I have not.
Oh, this is your moment, which you could be famous for.
Might have to do one thing really quick, which is turn on VSync, and I'm gonna hate it, but my OBS needs it. That should fix all my problems.
Do you have different techniques during the warm-up lap, which you use to try and keep your tyres warm and get them up to temperature, or do you just drive in the straight line and hope?
Well, we can see what Mattia's doing, which is the Kimmy. And just driving in a straight line, and then we've got Alfie behind him warming up the tyres, and then Lean Miller also doing the same, also doing a Kimmy. Ironically, none of them from Finland.
No, have we got any Finnish? We haven't got any flying Finns tonight, have we?
I don't think we do.
No, I don't think we do.
Unless we have any in the PS leagues.
That's a very good question. So we might have to try and figure out later. Yeah, I'm not sure. We've obviously got many nationalities in FRL across the various different divisions, and I can't think of anything. I know Duell likes to consider himself Finnish, and Kimi Räikkönen himself, but he's French, so that doesn't count.
No, of course it doesn't count.
Yeah, one of the things I like to try and do on the formation laps is just keep my foot on the brake a bit, and that kind of warms up the front brakes, but then that generates a bit of tyre temperature as well.
It does. So we're lining up into double file here to come around. I think this is the final corners. I honestly cannot tell you because the game has locked me in. But as we're coming around the final corner, coming around for this race start, let's have a look who can get the best start off the lights out. So Nachira, sorry, now controlling the pace. We're just waiting for that. I wouldn't say hallowed green light, but the much awaited green light. Building it up here. Or is it? There's the green light across the timing line. Nachiro getting a great start. So is Alfie Baron. He just nicely slots in, covering off Lean Muller in the BMW. We come up now to turn 2. Nice and clean through the start. I'm not aware of if anything happened at the back.
No,
nice and clean. That's how we want it. That's perfect for how we want it.
Yeah, absolutely. Full credit to all the drivers.
We just now into sector 2. It looks like there's some shifting about, but I think that's just the game doing its thing.
Oh, there is some contact. Car number 14, car number 12. Sorry, Pryor, bouncing off some walls.
Was that a spin by his own accord, or was it?
It was a little bit of a love tap from not being given much room, to be honest. But let's have a. I'll go check the replay. You keep up with the fun.
So having come off the first lap, then it's Mattia Nachira, or sorry, now it's Alfie Baron in P1. The game hasn't currently updated it, but Alfie Baron having overtaken Mattia Nachira in the 720S now. So it's Alfie Baron leading P1 from Nachira and then Marco Keddy making his way up to P3 from qualifying fairly low down for him, which I don't think is much surprising that Keddy overtaking Lienmuller and then Paul Labus coming in P4 after them, P5 sorry, after them. So the three championship contenders really of Alfie Baron, Paul Labus and Ademi both I guess we're not exactly where they want to be. Obviously, Alfie in P1 where he does want to be.
Starting to stretch out a bit of a gap of about a second to Mattia at the moment.
0.9 is the gap to Mattia, so he's obviously trying to get rid of that, trying to get rid of the draft current, trying to get rid of the toe, and which I guess also puts Mattia in some clean air, which is what he wants. But he's also got Keddy 0.7, so that's 0.2 behind him. Let's see if he can maybe make a move into turn 1.
Also looking at the cars in the top 7, there is 6 McLarens and there's the lone BMW in the top 7 of the grid at the moment.
Ah, well, I guess says something about this track then, really, isn't it? Maybe it's just a McLaren-dominated track. However you say that, but there's already a second gap between Alfie Baron and Mattia Natura. So maybe Alfie looking to pull well away here, and it's another second to Marco Keddy.
Now, so I suppose this is where the strategy comes into play, of remaining consistent, keeping your lap times pumping in to keep that gap, and then it all comes down to the pit stops.
Absolutely, getting those, I guess the fastest stops, well, obviously that's determined by the game, but getting the right time to pit, and in terms of kind of maybe reacting to what your rivals do, whether you overcut or undercut, that's complete.
Yeah, we've had our first car in the pits. Petrovic came in and has done his first stop. That was down to damage by the looks of things on the first lap also.
And the Aston of Stuart Pryor, he is down in P25. Don't know where he's got damage.
Looking at his car, he's definitely got some dents. He's not going to get much for that for his bodywork.
No, which can always bring down his top end speed. He's currently being caught by the Audi behind him, the number 1 car, who qualified in P33 and has now come up to P26. Looks like he'll be looking to climb up there. There is the gap is definitely closing between those two. It's 0.4 from Pryor to Kudasov. As we go back to the front, Mattia Nishira, sorry, completely interrupted you there.
No, I was just looking at the lap times as they're going through. So far, the quickest lap we've got is a 1:23.3, 370 by the leader, Alfie Baron. Seems to be making as much of his advantage. He's brought it down to just... And
he's just hit the wall, sorry. Mattia, Alfie Baron just making a mistake there and hitting the wall, so that puts Keddy now into P2. And Mattia regaining the lead, and Leadmiller now off onto the grass, giving Alfie Baron his position back into P3, as Leadmiller now drops down into, I believe that is P5, putting Labuse in P4.
Whoa, they drifted around the last corner with contact between Leadmiller and I think it was Adati in the white McLaren?
It might well have been, but that... we'll definitely have to have Dell have a look at that later.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to be able to catch up with any of the first lap incidents. But that is an absolute shame for Alfie. Obviously, it looked like he had a bit of control going in, and now has some damage, as well as dropping down those 2 places to 3rd place.
However, still retaining the fastest lap. Seems as if Nishira not maybe putting in the laps that he wants to I think getting that extra point. I have no clue if that's how this works.
Yeah, you do get an extra point for fastest lap.
Obviously not racing GT3 cars. I don't know how that works. I normally race in F1. However, we have a 1 second gap for our leader Mattia Nishira, and then a 1.7 gap from Keddy to Baron. And looking in the midfield, number 48 720S of Popov, having a 0.4 gap to the number 510 of Toth in front of him, maybe looking to try and get a move just to gain some extra points. as it stands. Just sorry.
Looks like Tadama is still in 14th place, so he's not exactly flying through the field either at the moment.
No, one of the main title contenders, obviously not where he would quite want to be, but we've got those 4 BMWs there in a row. We've got 2 seconds from Tadema to Camera, sure, and then we've got Stratton and Longfellow in behind him. So let's have a look at this here, because Tadema looking to get close to Popov now, the 720S, the number 48. He's closing that gap slowly. Maybe starting to get that the feel of his tyres and how he actually wants them to perform. Got 0.5 clap, I think, is slowly closing. I can't tell because you have the you have everything open.
Yeah. So sorry, who were we checking on again?
The number 16 car of Tadema, who's is currently in P3 in the championship.
Yeah, so he's currently 6 to 7 tenths behind Popov. He's currently on a bit of a slower lap, so he's just about 4 tenths slower.
Well, this Popov, sorry, just in front of him, just made a move on. Actually, on Toth, I think that was. No, he's going for it now. He's in the slipstream, and we do have a penalty for the number 72 car. I don't know what incident that was, but we got a 5-second penalty for the number 72 car. He's
just been given a 10-second penalty in total, so 2 5-seconds penalty. So that's for Wolzak in car number 72, is currently 31st position.
Do we know what that was for, or was that just...
I'm just about to try and find it. Bear with me 2 moments, sorry.
No worries. Popov now dropping back a bit from the BMW in front of him. The 720S not showing as much straight line speed as he wants it to. But last lap it's 0.6 to Toth, who is currently 3.4 last lap, but behind the Lexus of Zagdal, who seems to be settling in nicely. Back up to the front though, it's still Nachira leading Keddy and Alfie Barron.
Yeah, it looked from the replay, Wolzak went on full send mode onto Damstra, who's currently in 19th position, car number 65, and made quite a bit of contact with him going into Druid's corner. So definitely a worthy penalty for that one.
So Damstra then looking, maybe having made a pit stop, I don't know, but it doesn't look as if he has much damage. But that the 72 car and another 5-second penalty for the number 14 car of Stratton. The BMW, don't know what that was for either, but maybe not. Maybe that lap 2 incident.
So like car number 14 and car number 71. So I'm just waiting for it to load.
The chair going really deep into that corner there. It looks as if Alfie looking to make a move. It's only 0.3 last lap from Alfie and Keddy.
For the incident which I viewed for car number 14, it looked, to be honest, the other way around. But potentially that penalty should be applied, but it might relate to another incident which happened on track, and I might have picked on the wrong one. But
we can always
no Mikey, no on that one.
Always go and have a talk to Denon, as Adati now also getting a 5-second penalty, which we assume. It's another 5-second there for him. The number 45 car, currently in P5, in behind Labou's, one of the main championship, the main title contenders. I assume that was for that massive incident which caused Keddy to be in P2. However, sorry, Alfie now fairly close, looking directly in the slipstream. Maybe he can get a move done down this next straight if he can. Make the pace perfectly. As he just runs a little bit wide into the grass, that'll slow him down a little bit, but hopefully not too much, and see if we can get this move coming down the straight. He looks to be fairly close.
He's definitely trying to get the most out of the track, isn't he? As he's
absolutely
second position.
However, we do have that first round of traffic, which is definitely going to impact the driving a little bit. There's Natura just going a little bit off the track extension there.
Petrovic has let Mattia go through nice and safely. And then I assume, judging by that behaviour, I'm sure the other cars are looking to go through. But looking at the pits already, you've had Longfellow, who's currently in 29th, Dehaene, who's currently in 30th, Walzak and Petrovic have all completed their pit stops.
So those mandatory pit stops already being done, and Alfie now looking for a move on Keddy. Keddy defending very nicely. Made him go the long way around turn 1. Defending his position. It looks as if Labou's trying to get involved now. 0.7 from Alfie on the last lap, but he's perfectly in the slipstream. Maybe see if that 720S can give the pace that they all need. And I would just like to point out how the top 5 from Mattia to Adati, all McLaren 720Ss.
Yeah, you've also got a Tugboat sat there in P6 in 720S as well.
I did not see that.
This does appear to be a McLaren track.
Absolutely.
We've got a 5
and Alfie now.
Car number 80 as well.
Another 5-second penalty.
Yeah, so it's gone. Looks like he went wide, re-entered in a not too safe manner.
And Chris Gedman, the number 80 car, got 2 5 seconds as well. Don't know what for.
Yeah.
We're going to stick with this battle with Alfie Barron and Marco Keddy. Keddy forming a little bit of a gap. Alfie managing to make up that gap and just get in just behind to pull away from Labou's. However, Labou's being fast and setting it in with those tyres, making the gap up, and it already looks to be close as Matteo pulling away now 3.4 from Marco Keddy.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the only person probably rubbing their hands into delight at this battle is probably Matteo, who's probably sat there going, yes, this is absolutely perfect for me in this race.
Yeah, it's absolutely, because it's obviously slowing them down, which may be what he want, and it looks as if, actually, Alfie Barron has some front-end damage, which might be affecting his top speed.
Yeah, I think when he was in the lead, he took that visit to the wall, didn't he?
Yes, he did, which has affected his top speed. However, it doesn't stop him looking for this move on Marco Keddy. You can see he desperately wants it. But it just looks like Keddy is just driving that faster pace. However, it's 0.4 in the last lap between those two. And 0.8 timing the last lap. We come down now towards the final turn. And Alfie now looking to get the move done. Keddy maybe making him go around the long way again. Very nicely done not to make contact, but he looking as if he can maybe get the switch back onto the inside for the next turn. Do we have a yellow flag in sector 2, and Alfie Barron does get the move done very cleanly.
That was an absolutely fantastic overtake. Well done, both drivers.
Let's see if absolutely. Let's see if Keddy can maybe make a comeback here, or whether he'll lose it there, lose the position to Labou's behind him. Is that Alfie again using a little bit of the grass, maybe slowing down a little bit? Seems as if that gap is starting to get bigger.
It's about this time when the cars are all thinking that they've obviously had a couple of guys who've done the early stops, but other drivers are starting to think, is this the time for me to get my stopping as well, as we're just approaching the halfway point during the race?
Absolutely, we're very, very close to halfway through the race, and it's looking so close between P2, P3, and P4. However, Alfie Barron now making a bigger gap between himself and Marco Keddy. Of Paul Labou's also trying to get involved with the fight, trying to get past Keddy. I don't know whether Keddy's dropping back due to pure driver error, or whether he's just lost his pace a bit there as he just goes over the track limits a little bit there. Don't forget the number 45 car, the 720S in P5, does have a 10-second penalty, so that can always change the standings quite a lot. As we have 3 cars now making their stops. I think that is a fair few amount of cars. As we've got Scrace 3 laps down in P32.
Yeah, you've got Prior Scrace currently sat in the pits. Lean Muller, I think he's probably repairing quite a lot of damage because he was right up there at the beginning and then started to slowly drop down the field after having an accident, and he's actually just leaving the pits now.
Oh, thank you very much. We've got some supporters of Keddy in the chat. Sorry, I need to stop looking over at that. Keeps distracting me. However, Labou's 0.6 from Keddy. Keddy 1.1 from Alfie Baron, who's now looking to close up the gap to Mattia Nachura. Which I would like to see a battle between those two. Both very fast drivers. But as it stands, it may be a fair few laps of these two drivers driving the fastest laps that they possibly can, as I have a little bit of game lag there.
Yeah, looking at the lap times, it doesn't seem to be too much separating them. Obviously, car number 95 has the damage, and that's always going to be a difficult judgment when you come to pit. Do you change that damage, or do you stick with what you've got? So that's going to be an interesting strategy that Alfie's going to have to play during those stops. But his lap times are not really affected. He might actually be able to go slightly faster if he repaired them, but it's that difficult balance, I suppose, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's obviously Mattia Nachura obviously having only to change tyres and I guess add fuel if he needs it. But Alfie Baron, it's a very difficult call for him whether he keeps the damage and just powers through having that slightly slower top end speed, or whether he changes the damage and risks dropping in behind Marco Keddy before he comes out.
Yeah, and he's done an awful lot of work to get past Marco, so he probably might be slightly inclined to just keep with what he's got and push, trying to keep chipping away at Mattia in terms of that time gap.
Absolutely, it's now 3.7 the gap. You could just very slightly just see Alfie in behind Mattia in the background. Whenever we get the next camera angle, that'd be very much appreciated. Yeah, it's definitely going to be close through the entirety of this championship between those two, is what I can tell. Mattia getting past that lapped BMW, who is now having to look here. Is that number 72 with a 10-second penalty? However, that not looking to slow him down as much as maybe Alfie Baron wanted him to.
Yeah, just trying to figure out where Alfie is in the standings, actually.
Let's have a look.
He's currently 31st. He's only taken part in one race, which was at Donington Park, where he finished 6th.
Oh yeah.
The opening first 2 rounds.
Oh, Mattia making a little mistake there, which might cost him.
Kind of a bit of a gap now until he comes to the next piece of traffic, which is car number 555 in 27th place. So
I'm just having have a look at the midfield. It all seems to be fairly separated. Let's see if he's going to change that damage as he comes down to P10. It looks as if he is. So that makes Paul Labou's 0.8 from Marco Keddy, who's 5 seconds from Mattia, who maybe, depending on his strategy, is looking to have this race pretty much under his belt.
So Alfie is currently leading the pits. and he is going to be in, by the looks of things, 12th place with a little bit of clean track to car number 60, car number 71.
That should be in front of him.
Yeah. You've also got car number 65, which is Lee Muller, just in that gap between the two drivers. But I'm sure Lee Muller will get out of the way at the right moment to not impact car number 95.
And there's the halfway point in the race. Obviously, the generic engineer telling us that, and Mattia looks to be comfortable as Keddy now pits, which puts Labuse into P2, 6 seconds from Mattia, and Adati into P3. Bear in mind, he still has that 10-second penalty, which will put him, as it is, down into P5, as we have a spun BMW in the background there. But it's looking, again, not troubled Mattia at all.
No, I think that the main thing is obviously avoiding back markers, don't get into any damage, and nailing your pit stop. As Keddy is now leaving the pits, and is currently sat in 8th place, so it'd be interesting to see how far the gap is between himself and Keddy and Alfie. But Alfie continues to maintain that that on-track advantage in terms of position.
Well, you say that, however, Alfie now coming out of, Keddy coming out only 1 second from Alfie Barron, so that could be huge for those two. Let's see if we can get another beautiful fight from those two. However, just also noticed that Alfie Barron still has his damage.
And Mattia is now in the pits as well. And Labuse. So the top two drivers are visiting the pit stop, which allows Adati to take the lead.
Again, that 10-second penalty will take a massive effect, as Mattia dropping into P3 there. Maybe had some slight damage that he wanted fixing, or whether he is just adding a little bit of fuel. No clue at all.
I think it's just that standard 30-second pit stop.
Yeah.
Which they're all forced to take. And all the other guys haven't yet pitted, but now Mattia's now leaving the pits. We've got Labuse currently in the pits as well, so it'll be interesting to see where these guys come out in relation to Alfie and Marco in terms of their on-track positions.
Oh, Mattia barely coming out ahead of Alfie Barron.
Wow.
Which is now not that much of a gap, but it looks to be those three maybe fighting for positions again.
Well, it's time to get the popcorn out, guys.
Or a snack of choice. That Mattia now opening up into P4. So as it is, we've got Adati, who's now pitting with his 10-second penalty to the number 789 car, which is also now pitting, and Stratton, who, as I recall it, pitted very early in this race to get that mandatory pit stop out of the way, if I'm correct in thinking that.
I think that was. I think he's now left. He's now no longer in the race, but that was Wozniak, I think it was.
Ah, okay.
Early pit stop. Very similar livery, to be fair, and both BMWs. So
yeah,
we'll definitely forgive ourselves for missing that one.
Looks as if Mattia, both Mattia, Alfie, and Labuse and Keddy all getting back up to positions that they want to be in, and Stratton stuck in lap traffic. Though he has a 5-second penalty, which can always affect the outcome of the race, unless.
The pit stops, the biggest loser out of that battle between Mattia, Alfie, Labuse, and Keddy has been Keddy. He's lost that third position, or that net third position, from Labuse. So he seems to have got the worst out of the pit stops.
Who, as it is only standing one position up from where he qualified, which I guess, yeah, it's still an improvement, but it's not exactly where he would want to be, is it?
No, absolutely not. But as we said, Stratton currently is leading the pack. He's got that 12-second gap to Mattia, but still needing to do that pit stop. And we've got Nielsen as well, which is a lap car chasing him down. As Stratton now goes into the pits.
Stratton, then that means Natura, Mattia having a net P1 position, leading Alfie Baron and Paul Labuse in P2 and P3. Marco Keddy, maybe 1.4 from Paul Labuse, if he can get himself up to the speed of Labuse, and see if he can maybe get his position back, his podium.
We've still got one driver remaining. Oh no, she's just taking the pits, which is Udrani. It's just taking her pit stop now. Currently, has brought herself up to the P8. So it'll be interesting where she comes out in terms of the track.
The number 11 car, who got a penalty, we now have an explanation for that from Dell, which is a pit entry collision.
Nice. That's an interesting one. That's always quite a hard one to manage, to be honest.
Yeah, which was, I guess, hard to make on his side. No clue if it is hard, having not any experience in stewarding at all.
Well, the pit entry at Brands is also quite a complicated weedy. It is a very tight weedy one. It's quite easy to make contact with a wall. So it'd be interesting to see if I can have a look at that incident.
It's almost like both I think it's Baku, the GP layout, and not Spa. There's another track and I can't think what it is.
Well, it's got like a mini chicane in the pit lane.
Yeah.
Trying to think. That's quite a good question. That's quite a how many tracks have got chicanes in their pit lane? Please try and answer that in the chat for us.
that'll be a Google it. So Mattia now only leading Alfie Baron by 1.6, maybe looking to get I don't know how that is in front of him, but that's a Beamer. Maybe trying to get him out of the way quickly, as quick as possible. He'll be yelling blue flags, and he does get through very quickly. He'll be doing Sebastian Vettel and complaining about blue flags there. As it looked to be, I cannot tell, because I have to say all the BMW liveries look to be the same to me.
Yeah, it's not as bad as a Lexus one where I think you are fixed in terms of what you can do, but obviously the BMW M4s kind of come with the nice in-game like liveries, which are not too bad to look at.
Yeah.
We've got car number 93 who's off the track at the moment as well, by the looks of things. It's just coming back on.
I think this is yeah, car number 93, maybe looking to come back into the pits, whether he needs a service or something.
Doing his best to avoid any contact with any cars.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Who I believe is currently in our chat, but is racing, so don't feel pressure to respond. However, we do look to have, I was going to say, a fight in the midfield, but Lean Miller just went off, so never mind. So Gedman now, P20, Chris Gedman and P22.9 from Fartman, who's then 1.5 from Tadema, who's now...
Chris has been in the wars and has made contact with
numerous people.
Walls, or numerous people, yeah, and Tadema is right on his case as well, so it'll be interesting to see how quickly that pass gets made.
And Tadema, I do have to say, I'm very surprised at actually how low he is, although he does look to be closing on Gedman here. He is looking to make the move down the inside, but he doesn't manage to get it done. Maybe the car, Lean looking to capitalize on that, and he's trying to get the move done, looking both on the outside and on the inside. Tadema again, Gedman defending very well, placing his car in a very inconvenient place, and it looks to be a very good fight between these three as Lean Muller now trying to pull along side Tadema, and nearly a little bit of contact made between Chris Gedman and Tadema as Lean Muller now making a move on Tadema. Tadema having lost out from that close contact to Gedman. Now let's see if Lean Muller can capitalize, and he looking as if he can. And once again, Chris Gedman just placing his car in a very inconvenient location. However, he really does. And there's contact between Tadema. There's contact between Gedman and Tadema. That'll definitely be something for Del to have a look at, or if you can. I think there was a little bit of contact there.
It was indeed. So it looked to be car number 18 and 16, wasn't it? So give it 2 moments. So it looks as though Chris ran quite deep into the turn, and then as he kind of returned to the racing line, Tadema's car was already placed and contact was made. So just kind of entering into that vortex of uncertainty. So I probably lean to say Chris Gedman was at fault for that incident, but again, we'll leave it up to our very own Michael Massey.
And looks maybe, well, Chris Gedman already got another 5-second penalty, so whether Dell will just leave it just out of pity, we'll see. But Tadema now dropping back from Lean Muller, as Lean Muller looking to get his pace back up in the closing 10 minutes. Another race that's gone very, very quickly.
Yes, indeed. It's my first time ever commentating on the PC side, so it's been interesting trying to keep up with 30 cars as opposed to just the 20 which we've had on PlayStation previously. So there's definitely a lot more action.
Yeah, and I do prefer it that way. It's Kudasov now actually making a move. Definitely cutting the corner there, but he's the car in front of him. Nielsen defending very well as Labuse trying to lap them. Cannot get through, unfortunately, but it looks as if Kudasov can maybe move out of the way despite being mid-fight, which means he's definitely going to lose out on this fight here with Nielsen.
Yeah, and that also brings, well, I'm quite surprised at how separated those top 4 drivers are at the moment, but this is obviously massively impacting the boost. These cars, I appreciate they're battling, but they really need to get out of the way of the podium, Labuse.
Absolutely.
Quickly.
And now Kudasov making a great move around the outside. He's looking now, still with him, and he couldn't quite get the move done. But can he get it done around the next corner? He touches the grass a little bit and does go off.
Runs wide. And I'm sorry to say, but again, these drivers are having blue flags, and they need to get out of the way as Venezuela is on the track. And well done, everyone moving out of the way, managing to avoid the contact. But yeah, Nielsen just does not want to move out of the way, as he seems to now have let Labuse through. But I think that's probably about a lap too late to do that. Those drivers, yes, they were battling, but they still need to get out of the way of the oncoming or the leading drivers.
Absolutely, and it looks now actually Alfie Barron closing up the gap to Mattia Nachura, whether he made a mistake or it's just the pace is falling off, or his tyres are going off a little bit. But it looks as if he's closing up the gap. Last lap was a 0.94 seconds. 0.94 seconds from Mattia Nachura. Let's see what it is here. As we cross the line, it's now 0.97. So he's looking to close up, but also dropping back a little bit, as we do have a penalty.
93. Scrace receives another 5-second penalty. Receives a 5-second penalty.
And Kudasov looking to make a move, or not again. I guess looking to catch up to Nielsen and get what he wanted again. As there was just a lap car in his way, which I think was our 93. Oh, sorry, it's the 55. The AMG.
Still that exciting time. Can that second gap between the two drivers be decreased? I still feel like we've got another twist in this leading battle.
Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, I still think something can happen, whether that's a mistake, a brilliant couple of laps, or a driver, a backmarker, potentially not getting out of the way quicker. I still think there is something that is going to happen in this lead battle.
Absolutely. And Will Hine now, 0.3 from Kudasov, looking to make a move, and he's trying to look down the inside. Coming around the final corner, trying to maybe get that toe, get that draft, to get that extra speed. We both know that the AMG is a very, very fast car in a straight line. It catches up to cars easily. However, he's dropping back a little bit, maybe braking a little bit too late into turn 1. I think that was. And maybe not being able to get the move done because of that slight driver error.
Yeah, that long boy in the Mercedes definitely, like as you said, has that grunt, but sometimes does have a few issues into any tight or fast corners. So yeah, definitely got the beast in terms of the grunt and the engine power in that AMG.
And it's quite a wide car as well. That AMG GT3. Having driven it around circuits like Suzuka, which are built for smaller cars, it's not made for small tracks.
No, and that's probably why the top 5 drivers are all McLarens today. Obviously, it does have a bit of speed, but the aero on the McLaren has always been very, very good. And in a circuit like today with those fast flowing corners, not massively many heavy braking points. It's probably why it's had that dominance today.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks, yeah. I mean, looking at the not the lap times, but the gaps that are forming between Mattia and Alfie. It's looking as if both of their pace is quite consistent. The one big thing is here, if either of them make a mistake, then that is definitely gonna change a lot. Whether Labuse gets into P2, closing that gap to Mattia, or whether Alfie overtakes him and gets P1.
Doesn't seem to, like as you mentioned, there doesn't seem to be any massive differences between their two lap times. They're kind of lapping very much the same over the last couple of laps. In fact,
yeah.
Alfie probably just dropped a bit more pace in this lap, so that gap might get a bit bigger. He's currently a second slower than his fastest lap, whereas Mathieu is currently only about 0.3 slower than his fastest lap, which is a 1:23.487.
As we're coming to the closing, nearly 4.5 minutes we've only got left of the race, and what an exciting race it has been in the midfield and both and the front runners in terms of strategy. We got another penalty coming in for the number 5 BMW. 2 penalties coming in. We'll have a talk with our very own Michael Messi about some of the decisions that he's made today post race.
Also, I think so. It's Blanchett who seems to have had the incident, but you've got Valenzuela who's currently finds himself in the wall and trying to do a 6-point turn on the grass. So I don't think he's having a great time at the moment.
No, it looks as if his rear wing is severely damaged.
Yeah, and he's just been taken to the pits.
As the fight between Nielsen and Kudasov still going on, so Wilhine getting in there behind him. There's only 0.2 separate both Nielsen and Kudasov. Nielsen going onto the grass a little bit there, maybe slowing him down. Let's see if Kudasov can get a move done, maybe into the next corner. Maybe just a little bit too far away there. There's Stratton 6.9, nearly 7 seconds ahead of them. So it looks Wilhine now as well, trying to get into that fight. It's going to be very difficult to determine who's going to come out on top here, but as it's looking, it's still going to be Nielsen, but you never know. As Wilhine off there onto the grass. So it's now between Kudasov and Nielsen. Wilhine recovering well. But Kudasov now looking in the slipstream. So we can have a look to the outside. He tries making the inside line now. And he does get the move done very well. But let's see if Nielsen can get the switchback done out of the final turn. It's a better exit into the slipstream. He can't get it done before turn 1. That was a very nice move there from Kudasov.
Yeah, he managed to stick. He managed to stick to his guns, and car number 1 nailed that position. But those 3 drivers have come back into close proximity again. So these guys are going to be battling right the way through to the end. Just also looking at 984 has received a 10-second penalty in terms of the racing, just to try and figure out how that's affecting the positions.
Alfie Barron now, sorry, I just want to point this out, is only now 8 tenths, which I think might entirely be down to traffic. So it looks as if they're both driving as much as they can. Chris Gedman not getting out of the way for Alfie Barron, that's going to affect him. But it's closed the gap so much. Let's see what it is now coming around the final turn. There's the pit entry. But it looks as if
Matty has got 2 cars in front of him as well. So again, these in Longfellow and
7 tenths. 7 tenths now the difference between the two, as we only have 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Let's see if this final minute, and I think it's plus 1 minute and 40 plus 1 lap. I'm not sure though.
Yeah.
Let's see if that.
There's going to be 2 laps remaining of this race. So once they cross the finish line after this lap, there will be 1 lap remaining from my calculations. And I never ever trust me when I give you fuel calculations, because they're going to be wrong. But yeah, I think we've got 2 more laps of this battle left. Stratton is now the car in front of Mattia.
So I just want to point out, it's now 5 tenths the difference. This could go right down to the wire. This fight is Mattia going a little bit wide there. It looks as if, wow, Alfie getting relatively close. He's less than a car length behind now. Which I guess you meant.
Has got out of the way nicely, so that's going to definitely help these 2 drivers battle away.
2.5 tenths now. The difference coming in sector 3 as we round the final right-hander. No, sorry, final left-hander. That's completely my fault. And Stratton very nicely, I guess, kind of helping out Mattia as is. But let's see if Alfie can get the move down into maybe turn 1 or down. There's the leader on the final lap. See if Alfie can get the move done here down this straight. He's looking, maybe try to go around the outside of Mattia. This great battle all race that they've had. It's now 3.8 tenths. It's so close that any turn could determine it.
Yeah, Brands is obviously a very difficult track to overtake, but yeah, any mistake. The one thing I am looking at is the gap. These 2 drivers are free to battle for the rest of the lap.
It looks as if Alfie Barron now trying to look around the outside of Mattia Nachira, and he doesn't manage to get the move done. His slightly damaged top end there coming in a little bit helpful for Mattia, having chosen not to repair it. He obviously thought that it's manageable and that he can deal with it, and he is looking around the outside of this left-hander, and it looks as if we come around to the final turn, it will be Mattia Nachira for the win, but it is going to be very, very close. It's 2.5 tenths now. Looks to be less than that. I think it is plus 1 lap, so this might be, I'm not sure.
So this is the final lap, and
that's it. Mattia Nachira. Wow, what a battle that was. Very well played to both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good, clean racing on those final 2 laps. There's obviously something that brought those 2 drivers closer together on a couple of different occasions, but on the last lap they were side by side, or front bumper to rear bumper, and there was no contact made, so that was absolutely fantastic driving.
Alright, just trying to get hold of Keddy for a post-race interview. I don't know where that would be though. That's my problem. There's Alfie Barron doing a nice little all doing some some donuts. I know who I definitely want to talk to post-race, both Marco Keddy, Chris Gedman.
We'll create a chat in the Discord.
That'd be very helpful.
Kind of get them into.
I mean, you have the permissions, you could honestly just drag them in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll let you do the catch
Right.
up while I try and sort something out for ourselves.
So, chat, let me let's have an opinion. Who is your driver of the day, ladies and gentlemen? Because mine personally has to be Alfie Baron, in the way that he's managed to catch up to Mattia Nachira on that final lap. What a final lap that was, may I add. Brilliantly done from both cars, both the number 15 and the 95 cars. So very well played, very well raced to both of them, and I don't know. That's in my personal opinion. Who's everyone else's driver of the day?
There we go. The channel's being created. So we'll just do a final catch up at of the drivers, and then we can get Marco, Chris, and Chica into a chat.
Yeah, I think I've done most of it. I'm just trying to get people's driver of the day. I know I said that Alfie Baron is mine. Your opinion, James?
I know it's an always easy one to pick the race winner, and I am going to go for the race winner today. I think he had that initial battle with Alfie, and then he managed to maintain the pace and keep it up. And despite with what might look to be back marker traffic or potential mistakes at the end, still did really well to keep that first place. And we will now drag in.
Let's go ahead and go to the post-race interviews chat, and I'm going to get something set up on the Discord on OBS. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. So bear with me so I can just get something set up for this.
Move to, there we go, post-race interviews. Hello Marco, you are in the chat with myself and Hydra in terms of post-race interviews.
Are you good, man?
Welcome. I have to say, very good race driven by you today. I'm very impressed. My first proper race watching you. And an exciting performance from all the top drivers, given you haven't had the best set of results, and where you qualified, I guess, is just kind of capitalized on where you want to be.
Yes, the McLaren is the best, man, you know? I think it's top 5 McLaren, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. All of the top 5. It was a really difficult race for all of you.
Yeah, I think I managed to get up to P2, and then the two guys passed me in the pits. Obviously, my pit was quite bad, but anyway, it's racing, you know? It's still a good result.
You
Yeah.
should have gone faster, Keddy.
I can't go faster. The car wasn't really responding much, but it's fine.
Paul Labou's managing to close up his lead in the championship, and yours, your points obviously being up there helped by that P4 result, I think it was. Sorry, I didn't completely pay attention.
Yeah, P4. I'm gonna miss the next races because of work, but I mean, it's still a good result, yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Did you enjoy commenting that? Was good race?
It was a fantastic race, especially the last lap.
Oh, lovely, man, lovely. Yeah, nice one, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Marco.
Thanks.
I think we should bring in one of the Flying Scotsmen into the chat and see what the battle was like from the midfield. So thank you very much, Marco. I will now send you away, and we'll get.
Okay, man. See ya.
We'll get. I think we're going to go for Chica or Chris. Which one's your choice, Hydra?
Shall we grab one Chris Gedman?
Let's grab one Chris Gedman. There we go.
Chris Gedman, hello, welcome.
Oh, who's this?
This is your post-race interview, sir.
Ah, my post-race interview.
Yeah, we do that now.
Oh, right, perfect. 2 seconds. Oh,
No
so
worries.
I've been nominated for this.
No, we
Right.
kind of just you're in the race chat, so we kind of just dragged you in here. I would very much like to get hold of either Mattia, but that's
Is he
alright.
gone?
Yeah, he disappeared.
Right. Okay. So fire away. Ask away. What's
Well,
what's happening?
How was the battle from the midfield? Because I know it's not where you would have wanted to finish, but it's still an absolutely great battle from you and the people around you. What's your opinion on just your battle in general?
Tonight was great. I kind of qualified quite kind of near the back of the pack. I then went right to the very back after the first 3 or 4 corners, and I fought my way through, maybe up to the mid pack. Really close racing. I think I had one tiny altercation where it was perhaps my fault, and I put my hands up. I've looked back and seen that it was my fault. I should have anticipated that the guy, his trajectory was going wrong on turn 4, and I hit the back end of him. Other than that, amazing. It's so exciting. I've gained some SA. I've had some really good racing as well with the girl that's in with us. I can't remember her name. Something.
Hidrani, yeah,
Yeah.
she's absolutely fantastic. She was, I think she beat me at Monza on Wednesday in the Road to Italy finale.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely
She's
fantastic.
so consistent, and she kept me on my toes, and I blocked my apexes enough that she couldn't get by, because Brands Hatch is probably one of the easier tracks to defend your corners because there's not very many runoffs apart from the main straight at the end.
No, but you did look like you mentioned in terms of the battles you were involved in. You did have some chip paint work, I think is the phrase I'm going to just the wording I'm just choosing to use.
That
And I
was,
did see you get the lawnmower out a couple of times and cut some grass.
I was trying to avoid that, but yes, the lawnmower came out tonight. I managed to level some of the grass coming into sector 3, you know, that very technical section. It was screaming out for me, so I just thought, do you know what, that grass there needs trimmed. Smashed the wall twice during the race, but refused to pit to get rid of it because it wasn't affecting the control of my car. I was just maybe losing a second on my lap times, so I just kept it going. And I was kind of near the end. I had one more lap to catch 22nd place, and then a blue flag came up, so I had to let the boy through. Gutted, I was raging.
Well, that's racing, isn't it? Really, you just gotta.
You've just got to concede to the blue flag, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's how it is. Otherwise, our very own Michael Massey would, shall we say, rain down on you.
The steward team would castrate me and cut me a new one.
Love it. Thank you very much, Chris.
No worries. Thanks very much, and cheers for doing the live broadcast tonight, guys. I'm looking forward to having a look back at it.
I'm currently trying to get hold of one Eliza, which would be nice because I know she's one of our streamers.
If I think Matty is just typing in the chat at the moment. We might be able to get our race runner to join us. But thank you very much, Chris.
Aye, thanks again, guys.
Hello, thank you very much. And now we have Eliza as well. Welcome.
Oh.
Hello, somebody's asking me to join.
Yeah,
the
that was
racing.
me. Welcome.
Oh, hi.
Hello. How was well, let's put it this way. I don't think we really saw much of you during the race, but how was the race from your perspective?
Well, this race was really hard for me because, to be honest, I'm so bad in Brands Hatch. And driving Ferrari can be so much challenging, you know. So yeah, I was involved in incident in the first 2 or 3 laps. I was trying to overtake the car in front, but I made a mistake. So yeah, it was just so hard for me that time.
Absolutely. I mean, Brands Hatch full stop isn't a very easy circuit. It's very narrow, especially for that long AMG boy that was hanging around the back of the pack. In your opinion, your result was great, I guess, for yourself then.
Right. It was great. I didn't expect that actually to be in top 20. Because I started at P25. Basically, it's more like back of the pack, and I think I did pretty okay during the race.
Yeah, you also decided to hang out the pit strategy. I think you were probably possibly one of the last drivers to do the pit stop. What was
Correct.
your thinking around that in the race? Because I think you managed to get to P8 at the time before you did your pit stop.
Yes, I think I was in P8 or P9 before pitting. My strategy was I was like, okay, let's do the pit like as last as possible than other drivers, so I can keep my position, and um, and I will be at P20 something after the pit. So yeah, that's my strategy. I'm still learning about pit strategy actually.
I mean, look at the standings. You're currently P21 as it stands, and extending closing your gap on the people in front of you. Do you reckon? Do you see yourself as sort of a challenger in any way for any sort of like best of the rest, or maybe even the title at some point if you can get it?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Do you see yourself as maybe trying to maybe be the best of the midfield pack, or maybe challenging for the title eventually?
For sure, in this championship, I'm not the strongest driver or the fastest. I survive in every race and gain position. I don't think I can be in top 10 in standings. I don't know.
Well, you certainly kept me honest. I think we raced together at Monza on Wednesday night in the Road to Italy Championship. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think you managed to get me. I couldn't keep control of the car in the parabolica at the end, but
Mhm.
yeah, definitely got the speed to get closing on the top 12 in the championship. But um, yeah, so well done again tonight, and it's always a pleasure to have you on the grid. I believe we've got Mattia in the chat, who is also who's our race winner from this evening. But
Hi everyone.
hi, Mattia, how are you?
Good, thanks. You?
How did you find the race tonight?
Really difficult. The track is really narrow, and I had a lot of understeer in the last stint.
Yeah, you seem to obviously you got the lead quite an early on when Alfie decided had a bit of a visit to the wall, and you maintained that lead throughout the race. What was the secret for being able to do that?
Um, just manage the gap behind, and don't take too much risk.
What Hydra and I noticed that towards the end of the lap that you had from the pit just prior to the pit stop, you probably got about a 3 to 4 second gap to the car behind. After the pit stops, that gap started to close down quite a bit. And in the last couple of laps, that gap was under a second. What happened to cause that gap to get so close?
I just lost some time, just lost some of the gaps behind the lappers, and my tires were finished.
The tires were gone.
Yeah.
Tires are dead, Bono.
I think also I haven't managed to catch the latest standings. That probably puts you in quite a bit of control in the championship as well.
It does. That puts you another. I think it's another 45 points further. So I'll just add that on my thing quickly. It's you're now 177 points, which comfortably ahead of Paul Labuse. Do you see yourself maybe winning the title?
That's nice.
Yeah. Well, obviously the consistency shown to this evening will probably help in those title aspirations. Obviously with the nearest challenger finishing third. So yeah, definitely keeping at that consistency. And congratulations tonight. You were my driver of the day. And congratulations on your win.
Thanks. And I hope I will repeat these performances next race.
Lovely.
I'm sure you will.
Both Eliza and Mattia, thank you very much for coming and joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. No pleasure.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. See you guys next round.
Definitely.
Right. All right. Good race, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So, James, what a race that has been, and I think I am gonna end up there unless we do want to have a chat with our very own Michael Massey.
Yeah, we'll leave Dell. He's probably had a bit of a stressful evening tonight. So we'll let him we'll let him remain anonymous in terms of the sound of Dell. But you can visit him on the FRL podcasts on Wednesday nights if you want to ask him any questions. By all means. And next up, I believe we've got the
Spa.
historic track of Spa.
Lovely job. Well, Spa, what a track that will be, in which we will have to see you all next Friday for another round of the GT3 Friday Championship.
Yes, and once again, thank you very much for joining us this evening. And don't forget to, I'm going to do the YouTuber thing. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on any of our action, both on PlayStation and PC.
Lovely. Thank you very much, James, and thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. And we shall see you. Well, I'll see you all next Friday. I don't know if James is racing at any point during the week.
My wife hates the sound of my voice, so I'm not allowed to commentate until she's out of the house. And this evening, she's gone out of the house.
And in which case, we shall see you all next Friday. Thank you very much for coming. See ya.